Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy show. Today, the stock market's down by a lot because of Trump's tariffs, but let's talk about something fun. Ming Lu Wei, is that how you say?
Ming Wu Lee.
Ming Wu Lee wearing the De Bethune watch when he won the golf tournament this week.
Yes, he won the Houston Open, first tournament he won, wearing a De Bethune watch. He looked great. It was a lot of pressure. He had Scotty Scheffler behind him. He had Rory McIlroy.
That was exciting with Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, and this guy was nervous, and he came through. Great picture of him holding the trophy with his De Bethune watch. And Jess Pegula was in the finals of the Miami Open with her De Bethune watch. And today we have Emma Navarro, Jess Pegula, Tommy Paul. It's a De Bethune type of week right now.
Well, I understand, Gavi. The rumor on the street is Nike wants to hire you to pick the athletes because you seem to pick all the winners. You're picking all the great athletes to endorse your products.
No, they think we have a scouting department.
You are the scouting department.
We are the scouting
you
department.
have all the NBA players. You have all the NFL players. You have the golfers. You have the tennis players. You have the people at Michael Rubin's celebrity party in the Hamptons. You have the people at the Grammys. You're the scouting agent.
Yeah, we get to see, but we can't afford the people that have already made it. You got to find the talent, and you got to trust their ability to take you to the top.
So what category would you put P. Diddy in? He made it, now he's not making it. When he comes back out, you're going to start selling him watches again?
No, P. Diddy, I don't think could be sponsored by Fossil right now, to be honest with you. Fossil would ask for their money back.
Timex.
Yeah, Timex would take their money back. And I don't think where he's going, I don't think he needs...
so you don't think he's ever getting out?
I don't think time is as important to him anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
time is a liability.
Time is just...
That's a good point.
But, if you want to, quickly bring up what's going on in the jails of New York, we could talk about the mayor of New York, his announcement today. I mean, it's crazy. The guy gets pardoned a couple days ago.
Mayor Adams.
Mayor Adams gets pardoned, and he decides he's now going to be an independent rather than running as a Democrat. And he was going up against Cuomo for the Democratic nomination, and now he is an independent, and they could split the votes, and maybe a Republican comes in, or Donald Trump maybe has a side deal with them and says, listen, we're going to make sure that you're free, and this is what I need you to do to help us out. And maybe there was a side deal. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing for New York City and the country. New York City is the country. I mean, everybody goes to New York City for the great shows, the dining. But I think if he runs as an independent, he can support Donald Trump's agenda. He doesn't have to piss off the Democratic Party. I was always suspicious of the guy. He was a cop his whole life, and then he was like city council, and then he became the mayor, but yet he was wearing $10,000 Brioni suits every day.
And going out to
In fact,
nightclubs.
Vladimir Volinsky, you should take a page out of Mayor Adams' book. I mean, he has the pocket scar. Vlad, do yourself a favor. If you come here to beg for money or mercy, call Kent Gushner at Boyd's in Philadelphia. I'm going to tell Kent when I talk to him next, you're 40 short, right? Would you say he's a 40 short, Brioni or Keaton? Wire him some of that United States money, and he'll send you 5 or 6 suits. He'll match the tie. He'll number the ties and the pocket puffs.
He's a dapper guy.
No, yeah.
He's stylish. I mean,
Yeah, he'll get you everything you need.
Yeah,
Boyd's of Philadelphia, Vlad.
I agree. And, but New York City needs someone now to clean up the colleges, just the crime.
I think it's a great move.
And I think a lot has to do with the illegal immigrants in there, that you need someone to say we're not a sanctuary city anymore. I mean, because that's starting to blow up all over. They just arrested someone today that I think that was in trial. They were actually in their court procession. ICE went into the court and I think arrested the guy.
Crazy.
Today.
But I think that you're going to have a guy like Elon Musk or some of Trump's henchmen are going to put a lot of money. You don't think Adams can win. You think Cuomo's going to win, Cuomo or whatever, or maybe even a Republican. I don't think Trump will back a Republican. I think Trump will back Mayor Adams.
By the way,
I think he did a decent job.
Well, to tell you the truth, he's going up against Cuomo. Now, let's see what's in Cuomo's past. Let's see. He had a sex case when he was governor. That's why he resigned. Not to mention thousands of people dying over COVID. This guy thought he was the next president. He was giving COVID reports every night. They thought he wrote a book.
Right. Made $5 million on that.
I mean, this guy, it's not like this guy is clean. I mean, this guy is like, an independent, maybe with some money and by the way, Wall Street might back him. Maybe Trump gets
So who do you think Hochul would back between Mayor Adams and Cuomo? Hochul was the lieutenant governor under Cuomo.
But they don't like each other right now. So that's a tough one. I don't know who she
hates Adams.
I mean, what you going to do? Go for Letitia James? I mean, like, there's a problem there.
Yeah. A big bit. I like Matt.
What happens if Lee Zeldin decides he's going to step down from
He won't.
He could win.
I don't know. I think that, Mayor Adams has done a decent job. I give him a lot of credit. He came out against Biden with the immigrants because he knew they were destroying.
What's a decent job? He has a sanctuary city. The illegal immigrants.
It wasn't his choice.
He's the mayor. So somebody has to take the hit. You had hotels being taken up by illegal immigrants.
And he stood up. He stood up.
He didn't stand up.
He stood up and said to Biden, "I'm not doing this. I'm not paying for it."
I need someone that stands up better than that. He got knocked down. What, you want someone that's a washed up guy that got taken out? What's his power? You know what they did to him? They made him drive to Washington, D.C., and as soon as his foot got out of the ground, they said, by the way, we just arrested your top 3 people. You got to get back to Washington. I mean, they set him up, the Bidens.
I know, but Trump got him out. He owes Trump. Trump got him out. Anyway, let's talk about these tariffs because that's all the news today. We're Thursday, April, 3rd or 4th. The market is down 4%, let's call it, across the board. NASDAQ's down 5%, Dow's down 4%.
$2 trillion. $2 trillion.
$1 trillion of that is Gavi's, but the other trillions, the rest of the people
trillion.
in America. But, what we have here is what I said a month ago. Powell won't play ball, head of the Federal Reserve with Trump, and Trump's wrecking the economy. The rates are coming down like crazy. The 10-year mortgages are tied to that, is already at 4%, going below 4%. Mortgage rates are coming down like in a hurry right now. Housing's going to pick up. The car business is going to pick up. These tariffs are devastating. I mean, can you imagine being a company like Apple, where they said, you got to get it in the first term of Trump, you got to get away from China. So they move all their stuff to Vietnam, or a large part of it, and Trump puts a 46% tariff on Vietnam just now?
Yeah, but
I don't get why he tells them to move.
I'll tell you why. Let's go by his playbook. He wants them to come to the card table, and they're not coming to the card table. He has the poker chips are there, the cards are there, he has the food there, and they're not coming to the table. So he decides, I'm going to slap these tariffs on there, and he's willing to negotiate, like he said. So the weekend, the Secretary of Treasury, the guy, said, don't panic this weekend to the other countries. Don't do anything like rash. Take your time, take the weekend to think about it. Trump's going to be playing golf at a Doral for his tournament, the LIV tournaments here in Miami. And then things will shake out. And all he wants to do is, for instance...
Is he actually going to play in that? With all those people there?
I don't know, but...
He can't possibly
he's showing
security.
Up. He's showing up.
Yeah,
but,
I can't believe he
But here's the thing. Let's just take countries, maybe, a European country that is killing the United States in tariffs. Maybe something is 65%. Maybe Trump wants them to come to the table and they lower it to 30%. If they all come back, then he wins. Canada's already negotiating. Israel already negotiated. You got countries that are now saying, what does it take? Let's do. Australia just said they're going to do it.
Let me ask you this question, Gavi. All the years of negotiating for jewelry and whatever, you can negotiate for 2 years. Nothing ever happens until there's, pressure. So that's what he's doing. I mean, I don't even know why people waste their time negotiating because nothing ever happens till somebody slams
until the pressure comes.
Right.
So
the pressure's there. And one thing about Trump, let me just say this. Besides driving down rates, I think Trump's picture is much bigger than just these tariffs. He's showing the world, the people in Iran, the Houthis, the Hamas, all these people, he's showing the world when he makes a threat, he carries through. He threatened tariffs, boom, tariffs are there. If he says to the Houthis, I'm going to bomb the hell out of you, count on the bombs flying if you don't do what you...
Well, he's also taking the world and he's turning it upside down right now, the economies of the world, because he's there. So this is a guy that you got to pay attention to. And I think that... I think people are going to come to the table and negotiate. And that's all we want is for them to negotiate. And later on, someone said this, I think to Bill Maher, it was this guest that they had. And she said, at the end of the day, this COVID, this pandemic that came out of the lab, it could happen again.
Is that proven?
Yeah, what they're saying.
Okay,
it could happen again.
The Wuhan lab?
Yeah, but if it happens again, why should we be... why should we have to need China to give us our pharmaceuticals? Why isn't pharmaceuticals in our country? Why isn't steel and aluminum being made here that in case we need it, it's here? So you know what? It will be tough. No one's going to build a factory overnight. It might take 5 years. And Trump's the president to say, on my watch, 5 years from now, it will be another president that can reap the benefits. But I think this is something that the country needs.
Well, I mean, I guess where I fault Trump is he's really, he told him that he's going to throw tariffs at him. But he's not giving the people, these companies, a roadmap because he's not going to be president by the time you build a factory and open it up. So he has to clearly outline
How do you know?
He could be. What the road looks like if you start digging a foundation and start building a factory, does that exempt you from the tariffs? I mean, what is the roadmap to get away from tariffs? If I prove I'm going to build my factory in America,
do you think he has it written down what his roadmap is?
No, he decided on the car right over.
Right. This is the guy that can decide anything right off the get-go. Because look, there's going to be tariffs out there that aren't possible. For instance, he put a tariff on Switzerland. Switzerland puts
where Govy gets all his watches,
but they put 66,
Pateks,
yeah, but
Rolexes.
They put 66% tariff Switzerland on the United States. He put 31% on Switzerland because they're into pharmaceuticals, they're into chocolate, whatever. A lot of other companies besides watches, and all of a sudden, Rolex and these other companies, they're not going to build factories in the United States. Maybe they just won't send them to the United States. So Trump will negotiate on individual companies because he knows the United States isn't sending watches into Switzerland. They wouldn't buy them.
I have a question about your industry. Could the craftsmen that make the watches in Switzerland are there? They're not in America.
Right.
I mean, are there crafts? Could you conceivably make watches of the Swiss movements in America? I mean, you don't have the people that build it here.
And it's the parts. So you still need, even if you had the people here, then he would say that the parts are taxable, just like the car industry.
Yeah.
So he's going to realize that the United States, we don't have American watch companies. There are some, but not the type of quality that the Swiss are buying or Europeans are buying. So there is no back and forth.
But folks, let me tell you how smart these guys are in the watch business because they sell new and used. And I asked Govy this question. I mean, if the new watches go up 35%, doesn't that value your inventory of used watches more? Aren't used watches worth more?
I think
because the resale on
you don't know yet, but I think used watches will go up just like used cars are going to go up.
Yeah, used cars are going to go up.
So, but you know what? It all comes down to one thing. Everybody's jumping the gun right here. And there was a smart guy told me, do you remember when COVID took place? And when
Yeah.
COVID first happened, you were going into the supermarket. You were walking down only one direction in the supermarket. You had gloves on. You took your groceries. You had to wash boxes. Like if you bought a cereal box, you're washing the outside of the box. Because we didn't know. Everybody didn't know.
That was crazy. Remember coming home from the supermarket and you had the gloves on and you had to
But we
stuff on
didn't,
your
because you're
shoes?
being told all the, we
Yeah.
didn't know. Then when the dust settled, it was okay. It started to be okay. I think right now, you got to take a breath. Dust will settle. You'll see exactly
With the tariffs.
of each one, because he's gonna wheel and deal I think almost each industry in each country. Because if we need it, he's not going to spike the United States if you need it and we're not making it.
But I think this is where Trump's thinking about it. Let's say you're buying let's pick a crazy number. You're buying a Bentley for $400,000 and you're leasing it. And it's going up 25% or $100,000 to $500,000. He's driving rates down. So instead of paying whatever a car loan is, 6 or 7, 8%, he's going to make rates 4%. So your payment's going to be the same. But America's going to get this extra tax revenue in that tariff. But to the consumer, he's going to be paying the same money. Even though he's paying more for the car, his interest rate on his lease or his loan is down, so his payment's the same.
Except on American cars,
Right.
he's going to charge you that your interest on your car is tax exempt.
Which is another bonus. Your interest rate will come down and your interest will be
So now
tax-
you're getting a car
Yeah.
that has, I mean, that's a huge difference.
I mean, look, if it all works out for the guy, it's great. If
The
this
guy's
all-
been right on a lot of
If
stuff.
it all works out with all this crazy nonsense, I don't know how his brain
let me ask you
can
this
absorb all
question.
this.
When he told you how he was going to stop illegal immigrants from crossing the border, you heard Biden and everybody said, well, we can do this, we could do that. We got to change the laws. I need Congress for help. He didn't do any. In 1 month, he's able to stop it. Now, why is he able to stop it? And Kamala Harris, who was the border czar, no one was able to tell Joe Biden. Well, Joe Biden wasn't even here, but no one was able to figure out what Trump's doing.
I heard this crazy thing today. I'm talking to this guy whose brother works at Abington Hospital in Philadelphia in the emergency room. And when this illegal immigration thing under Biden was in full steam, they had 400 people a night in the emergency room. Now they have 20.
Right.
Because number one, there's not that many illegal immigrants. And number two, they don't want to show their face. They don't want to have to show identification. They don't want to have to, because they're afraid ISIS is going to come in
They don't want
to
any
the
records.
emergency room and get them.
Right. That's
They were getting free health care and everything. It's crazy stuff.
and the hotels that
And
are
the
now coming
hotels.
to. But so I think that sometimes you got to trust the guy. I mean,
The people are getting decimated
let
today.
me
I
ask
need
you-
to trust them. I mean, people's portfolio, if you have $1 million, you saved your whole life as a bus driver, a teacher, you have $1 million in a 401k. You just lost 40 grand of it today, a year's salary.
I'm going to tell you why you can trust them.
Okay, explain it to me.
Because the Democrats right now, they sat there for 4 years and told you Joe Biden was okay. He was okay. He was
Okay in what
he
way?
was
Physically?
Mentally. He
Okay.
was sharp as a tack. You got the binder sitting there saying, I got to bring my A game. He runs circles around me. We can't keep up with this guy. Now a book comes out and says the guy literally.
Oh, this new book?
Yeah, they were basically saying his new book is coming out on him, and they're saying that when he was prepping for the debate, 20 minutes into this hour and a half debate, the prep, he had to take a nap. I mean, this guy wasn't.
So I.
This guy wasn't all there, and they covered up. And now everybody's Jake Tapper from CNN. They're all coming up saying, "We knew, we knew." They didn't know. You got Morning Joe telling you "Hey, he brought his A game. This is his best that I've ever seen him." They lied. They lied to all of their viewers. And you know what happens when you lie to all of your viewers? They turn the channel to Fox. And now Fox is breaking records. They've never had more people. And now the Democrats that did switch are now listening to Fox and they're saying, I can't believe they pulled the wool over us. I can't believe that all they're talking about, they're not talking about illegal immigrants.
So we'll read the book and we'll talk. Well, you know, this new book is coming out. Two people that worked in the Biden administration wrote this book.
They had access. They worked, I think, for NBC or
so
like
they're digging.
Amazon.
You know, look, to sell books, you have to dig up dirt. So they're coming up with all these anecdotes about how.
Well, they were there. They witnessed it.
How Joe Biden was. You know, they had
Barack
a tape
Obama that didn't want Kamala Harris.
They had to tape the floor for where he was supposed to walk or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
But let's talk about Elon Musk, because this Doge thing. And they're blowing up Tesla dealerships, and they're spray painting people's cars, and they're just going after... We're going to fight over this. I know we will. Elon's got to quit. Elon, thank you for getting those astronauts. Thank you for exposing $1 trillion in waste and fraud and abuse. But go back to running Tesla. Go back to your life. You've done enough for America. You didn't run for office. You don't need this. You did enough. We're thrilled. We're appreciative. We'll thank you forever. But, quit.
Disagree.
You don't have to stay there another 6 months and take this pounding.
So I think they are always one step ahead of us. We don't know everything that they have planned.
And by the way, if my Tesla in the parking lot is spray painted when I go out, I'm just kidding.
Nothing like spraying a Jewish owner's car Nazi on it. Like nothing like coming back having that Nazi symbol.
I don't drive
in your
a
car.
Tesla.
No, but how about all these Jewish people out there driving Teslas that have a Nazi symbol on their car? I mean, you're watching liberals attack liberals. It's kind of funny.
It's crazy. But go ahead.
And I think Musk and Trump are one step ahead. And they're not telling you everything that's going on. I think that they're going to show you, Doge is going to show you exactly what they found. That's one. Two, all these Tesla dealerships, they're insured. You know what they have to buy? They don't get to replace these Teslas with Fords. You know what they have to replace them with? Teslas. That's another sale for him. He's double dipping. He's getting 2 cars he's selling. The second thing that he has is supposedly in the next month, he's having the first Neuralink that he's putting the chip in your brain if you're blind to give your vision back. Now, now let me just tell you something. Next month, if you could take
are there that many people that are blind that it would pay for all that R&D?
Are you kidding me?
Or I know when you're older, you go...
No. How about anybody that's blind? Are you kidding? That's like saying how many people are deaf?
How many people in America do you think are blind? 500,000? 100,000?
More than that.
Not millions.
More than that.
Really?
Yeah. But I gotta just tell you.
Go ahead.
I gotta just tell you one thing that will be pretty funny afterwards because there's a lot of deaf people.
Will Stevie Wonder get to see?
No, but I mean I want to know what the liberals are going to basically say if all of a sudden it can give people their vision back. I mean, are you going to say I don't want to see anymore because I hate Donald Trump and I hate you? But I got to tell you something that is pretty funny. There was, I think it happened. I got to think which state it took place in recently. It might have been Los Angeles. They had someone doing sign language, and the person giving sign language was a fraud. She's been arrested before. It might be even Florida.
That she can't do sign language?
It wasn't. She was making it up.
Oh, that's so funny.
But no one knows that until
because nobody's blind.
So she's sitting there with her hands going like this and this, and she was making it up until someone said, "What's she doing?"
That
and
is
she was,
funny.
So because no one caught her. But going back to the eyes, I mean, there's a lot of people that are blind out there.
And if you're deaf, will you get to hear?
No, Dev, he has to figure out the ears. But first, he's taking care of eyes. I mean, how are you supposed to put this guy down? I mean, how about? By the way, the next thing is walking. So now, when you can't walk and he can give you,
unbelievable.
So what are you supposed to say?
So I watched him on The Verdict with Ted Cruz. Mm-hmm. Ted Cruz has a podcast, not nearly as popular as ours, but it's called The Verdict. Elon Musk was a special guest. And it was a great show. And Elon Musk said in 20 years, he expects 1 million people to be living on Mars. And then they asked him about these robots or whatever.
How many years?
20 years. 1 million people living on Mars.
So when the people that are destroying Teslas,
Yes.
when they get out of jail and they say, "Where is this Musk guy?" They can say, "Oh, he's living on Mars."
He said he's going to die on Mars.
Right.
And not crash, but I mean he's going to die of old age on
Imagine
Mars.
getting out of jail and you find out, where is this guy?
Yeah,
he's on Mars.
But also what he said are these robots. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
The robots that they're building with the AI. He said in 10 years, 20% possibility that these robots will take over civilization and kill mankind.
Well, that was like
That
those movies.
is like the Jetsons. Remember the TV show when we were growing up with the Jetsons, the flying cars and all that? He said there's a 20% chance that these robots will be so much smarter than mankind that they'll take over civilization and wipe out. But I won't be alive in 20 years, so I don't give a shit.
What was the housekeeper's name?
Oh, I don't. Do you remember?
Rosie.
An
Astro, the dog.
Astro, I remember
Elroy.
Astro, right? Elroy, yeah.
But yeah,
that is great,
Govy. It is something though that we're going to be going into supermarkets and you're going to see robots stocking the shelves and doing we're going to be coming in contact with robots in our everyday life.
Well, imagine, I guess, the people that clean hotel rooms will be robots, right?
The people, room service that brings up your food will be robots.
Right. I just
They have that now.
Kitchen help, making food in a kitchen will be robots, right?
Well, right now, Taco Bell is the first, they're doing the first one where they're only going to have like a couple humans there and it's all going to be automated.
Boy, that's crazy. Imagine how much food they'll save from people stealing the food, that work there. Let's talk about March Madness, Govy, because the show is just peeling through. I want to make sure we cover March Madness. Of course, Govy Kreskin is right on top of it again. That's why he owns 80% of the show here. He picked Auburn and Florida. They're right in the Final Four.
Auburn,
we got
Florida, Duke, and Houston. I think
I like Duke.
Well, everybody likes Duke. They're the Dallas Cowboys of college basketball.
Shout out to Fred Shabel, may rest in peace. Friend of ours from Philly. He was the assistant coach there back in the whatever.
But now they
60s.
have Shire.
Yeah.
And by the way, out of the 4 teams in it, there are 3 Jewish head coaches,
that's crazy.
Which is since we only make up 0.02% of the world, that's really pretty unbelievable.
3 of the 4 head coaches of the Final Four of college men's basketball are Jewish, and there's all this rioting on campus. The
coach of Duke, for instance, this guy Shire, he was from Glencoe, Illinois, and he was an unbelievable basketball player in high school. And he didn't duck anybody. He went to all the neighborhoods. He went to the south side of Chicago to get into pickup games. He was super. He ended up being a star at Duke University, got drafted by the Miami Heat, and in his first preseason game, he got poked in the eye. They had to air vac him, and that was the end of his career in basketball. He never even played one game, but he is the coach of Duke. You got Pearl, the coach of Auburn, who, by the way, gives shout-outs to the hostages that are there. He puts the filling on.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's like Orthodox?
Well, yeah, he's been there.
Orthodox?
So they did that. And then, you have the other coaches. You have Houston's playing, is also in there against Florida. And you got the Florida coach.
And our podcast studio is owned by some Florida frat boys here. Echo Studios, shout out to them here in Boca Raton.
Do they know that I'm picking Auburn? I wonder if they know that.
I don't think they know that. We could lose our show if they think. Yeah.
So you got that. That's all exciting coming up.
So who's your pick, Govy?
My pick is Auburn.
You've been from Auburn when it was 64 teams.
Yes, I have Auburn over Florida. I have Duke over Houston. I have Auburn over Duke for the championship.
I'm going to take, I like Florida. And I like Duke.
Okay, they could play. They could end up playing.
I like Duke to go all the way.
Yeah, they got that guy flagged that everybody's tanking for. You know what's kind of crazy? All these NBA teams are tanking right now. The 76ers, we are not starting Joel Embiid, Paul George and Maxey, we gave them the year off with like 14 games to go.
How much did they pay that Paul George?
But here's what I got to ask you. I love Maxey. He's a great guy.
Great player.
Great guy. But they're keeping him from playing because they got to lose on purpose.
Right.
They're willing to pay him $475,000 a game not to play. Now, could you imagine having an employee that works for you that you're going to give $475,000 per game not to play?
All right, I'll make you a deal.
I mean, that's crazy.
I'll make you a deal, Govy. You pay me $300,000 per podcast. I won't show up next week. I won't come in.
Again, I said it last week. If the NBA wants to know why their ratings are in the tank and college basketball is blowing up, is because you're not even watching an NBA game. The Sixers played the New York Knicks the other night. No one even watched it because the Sixers said to New York, here you go. You can rest your players because we're not even showing up. We're losing on purpose.
So I'm not watching the games. Or is anybody showing up in the stadium?
Well, some of these good teams. By the way, if the 76ers do not get worse than the 6th pick, our pick goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are by far the best team in the NBA, by far, and they could end up with the Sixers, number 7th pick in the draft.
I don't even think it matters because the Sixers, between Paul George and Joel Embiid's contract, I mean, how do they ever get out? They're 5 years.
They have roughly
3 years of, these
they're roughly paying $2.2 million of those 3 players per game not to play.
It's just so nuts.
I mean, like...
But how do they get out of those contracts and ever rebuild the team? I mean, they have to wait 3 years.
It could take 10 years. That's why, as I said it before, the 76ers ownership, they got to get rid of the front office.
But then you look at football, Dallas Cowboys, how about their quarterback? I mean...
Well, they have a horrible front office, too.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones, he's the gift that keeps on giving. The 76ers.
And what are they paying that guy?
Who?
Prescott? Dak?
Highest paid. $240 million, $300 million.
But anyway, let's talk about Kid Rock. I wanted to cover that March Madness before our clock ran out. But, Kid Rock brought Bill Maher to the White House. It was like solving the Ukraine war, or the Arab-Israel war, to get Bill Maher and Donald Trump together. And Kid Rock wore quite an outfit. I mean, maybe Cole, if you could put that up when you edit the show, Kid Rock's red outfit.
Well,
there.
I got to tell you, Paul, Ducey was in the Oval Office, and Trump said to Ducey, he said, "Do you think Joe Biden ever did something like this in the Oval Office?" And Ducey said, "Well, I never thought I would see a guy that looks like he was shot out of a cannon standing next to the president of the United States." Because that's what Kid Rock looked like. He looked like he was in the circus. But he still brought Bill Maher there. Bill Maher brought a list with him when he met Trump of all the negative things that Trump said about him. Trump took that list, signed it, and gave it back to him to hang up on his wall.
Oh, my God.
And, they got along really well. And I got to tell you, there's only one thing that Bill Maher can come back to his show that he can, say to his audience, which I agree with, by the way. I think Trump's doing great on a lot of things. And then there's always that one thing he says that I have to, go, oh, my God. This third term stuff, that's what people were scared about. They were scared that he's a king, he's a dictator. Why fuel them? He's not running a third term. He's not doing it. Why does he get pleasure egging on these people? He's not doing it. But why does he get pleasure making the Democrats go crazy? Because that's what it is. He's enjoying himself.
He doesn't care if you talk bad about him. Good. He wants you to talk about him.
He's not running a third term. So why give them the
Steve Bannon said he was going to run. He figured it out. He found a loophole in the Constitution.
Bill Maher's going to go back. He's going to take this great day. He had a great time. And he's going to say, I think the guy's nuts that he's going to run for third term. He's not running.
Right.
Why give him that ammunition?
But, I mean, who gets elevated there? Bill Maher or Donald Trump in that?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher gets elevated. Donald Trump is definitely throwing him a bone.
Bill Maher's on HBO on Friday nights. CNN chose like the replay of it. I think that pretty soon, ABC, NBC, and CBS, when they see Fallon, Kimmel, and Colbert's ratings, they're going to say, let's give Bill Maher a Tonight Show. And if Bill Maher ended up on the Tonight Show,
because of this Trump thing?
Because of this Trump thing as the host.
Wow.
You know how many Republicans will say, the guy isn't that bad. Let's give it a listen. Because let's put it this way. Fox right now is dominating. Newsmax, who's a competitor of Fox, who is, by the way, more right than Fox. Their stock just came out, their IPO. Started at $10. You told me not to buy it when it went to 14.
I bought 100 shares.
Yeah, but you told me no, don't buy it. 2 hours later, it was $242. $242.
Now I think it's $40 again.
Now it went up to 52. It dropped, by the way. The next day it dropped to 150. But right now it's still at $52.
But getting back to Bill Maher, I mean, so now that he went and met Trump, he ate humble pie, or Trump ate humble pie, or they both ate it. Now does the Trump orbit, does Dana White then go on the Bill Maher show? Does Hulk Hogan then go on the Bill Maher show? All the Trumpettes, all the people that are in Trump's orbit.
Not all at one time. You can't do it.
I understand that, but they hated Bill Maher. All of a sudden, does a giant like Dana White go on the... That's amazing for Bill Maher. Then he's a big winner here.
Yeah, all he had to do, because here's the thing with Bill Maher. He thinks that his party left him, that they went too far left. He just has to stay where he's at. So if he stays where he's at, he can still have a conversation with a Republican. The other people, they can't even have a conversation. This woman, Crockett, in Congress, she just made an announcement that the only reason why she got to be a lawyer is because she was a DEI hire. Like, she said that. That means, I don't get it. I don't get, we have a DEI hire in Congress. It's crazy.
Anyway, Govy, we have at least 25 sponsors on this show now, and we're going to talk about Echo Studios, where we are, one of our corporate sponsors. They let us come in here. Many studios in town throw us out.
But one of our sponsors is doing really well.
Who's that, Govy?
Just the Mail.
Just the Mail. They're not Republican. They're not Democrat. They just deliver the mail.
They're just the mail. And you know what? It's great. You know what? Donald Trump is going to privatize the postal service business. He's not going to eliminate everybody. He's not going to eliminate the people in Wyoming getting their mail. He's just going to scale it back, where he might get rid of some non-performing post offices. So if you're like in Boca Raton and you have a post office box at the post office in Boca that says P.O. Box, you would be much better going to Just the Mail that has an address on Federal Highway. They do your FedEx, they do your UPS, they do your regular mail, they shred, they sell you lottery tickets.
Not only that,
and
folks.
They're cheaper.
Not only that, folks. It's gorgeous Ralph Lauren blue walls and wood floors. It's like a Ralph Lauren store, but a post office.
And friendly. How about
Jocelyn's the manager there? She does a great job.
Yeah, you don't get that postal worker back there looking at his watch saying, when's my next break? It's not like that.
Not only that, Govy, but the FedEx, UPS, and USPS stop there twice a day. So you can either drop your stuff off in the morning. If you drop it off in the middle of the day, it gets picked up at the end of the day. And it's discount 20%.
But also, if you want to keep, I feel like this is like a thing. And
this is an advertisement for one of our sponsors.
And one more thing they do. The post office closes their hours. That they close at they open at 10 o'clock in the morning for you to be able to go in there. Us, the Just the Mail, our sponsor, hey, you can go in there.
For a few dollars extra a month.
You can go in there, what, is it 24 hours?
Well, for a few dollars extra, you get the secret keypad on the front door.
And you can go in there.
24-hour access, that's correct.
So if you're going out of town and you want to get that mail.
Get your mail.
You don't have to say, boy.
And, Just the Mail is thinking of putting coffee and Danish in there, too.
That would be
Making
great.
a little coffee shop, too.
Right. You know what?
I think that would be fun.
I was told this place, Just the Mail,
Yeah.
that there's an ice cream place, a famous ice cream place.
Famous.
Wits. You know, I don't
They
know
stand in line.
They stand in line. They told me, I had someone that told me they went past our sponsor's place.
Line's
at
that long.
9:30 at night, the line went out the door for Wits ice cream.
3541 Federal Highway.
I think they're in the Midwest. They're known Wits.
There's a bunch. There's one in Delray. There's one in Deerfield.
But I think they're based they're like a big.
I think it's custard. It's not ice cream. I don't know the difference.
I don't know.
But it's pretty good. Anyway, Govy, what a great show. So much. I mean, it's so much easier doing a show.
It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. It's Just the Mail.
And Govy's writing a jingle for Just the Mail.
I got to see.
Charlie Harper will have to help you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to come up with 2.5 minutes.
Fruit Loops or something. Like a good, what was that jingle you told me about today? Everybody remembers this,
Cars Are for Kids?
Cars Are for Kids jingle, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, with Donald Trump, this show is easy anymore. There's so much subject matter every week. Next week, the stock market could be up 2,000 points.
2 days ago, you said to me, what do you think we're going to talk about? I said, well, Trump is going to be, he's still breathing, he's still living, so there's always going to be something, and here it is.
I just think that Elon Musk has to quit. I mean, he's too good of a guy. Let him go invent stuff, send rockets to Mars, Neuralink.
I just want him to be safe. I just don't want anybody to do anything stupid.
Yeah, it's just this. Everybody's bombing him and screaming. I mean, look at all the good he's doing. It's just really a shame.
You can see. You might be able to see.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to see good again. And
will
you let me be able to see through clothing too?
You know what that first person's going to do that can see? He's going to say, that person giving the signs isn't doing it correctly. That's a lie.
That is funny. All right, folks. Well, thank you for coming to the Cutty and Govy show. We didn't, Delray, Palm Beach, Boca Raton, we didn't have weather like we had in March. It's April, but they say April showers bring May flowers.
It's gorgeous outside. I like it.
It's a little cloudy.
And by the way,
your tan, my tan is going away.
Trump down. I might even drive down to Doral.
Are you going to go?
Maybe.
Do you have tickets?
Rolex is a sponsor. Maybe I can know somebody that can maybe give me a couple tickets to the Live Tour. That would be nice.
I think you'll be able to get into the VIP tent.
Yeah,
Rolex VIP tent. All right, folks, you have a great week.
See ya.